Hello, Internet. I am Pastor Recoil, and welcome to my parish. Today is Maundy Thursday, and we're going to talk about it. Welcome to Pastor Recoil's Parish, where I talk about some things in the Bible that you may not have heard about in church, either because it's not quite appropriate for all audiences, or it just isn't something easy to talk about in a sermon. Today's readings for Maundy Thursday are Exodus 12, 1 through 14, Psalm 116, 1 and 2 and 12 through 19, 1 Corinthians 11, 23 through 26, and John 13, 1 through 17 and 31b through 35. Today is called Maundy Thursday because of the commandment Jesus gives his disciples tonight, as we have recorded in John's Gospel. Maundy is an English corruption of the Latin word mandatum, which means command or mandate. Maundy Thursday then remembers three events all kind of rolled into one. The meal that Jesus has with his disciples called the Last Supper, that becomes ritualized into what we now call Holy Communion or the Eucharist. Also remembers Jesus washing his apostles' feet, and a new command for Jesus' disciples to love each other as Jesus loves them. The first, the institution of Holy Communion, begins with a Passover meal, the celebration of God saving Israel from slavery in Egypt, and specifically the passing over by the angel of death during the final plague of Egypt. Jesus takes this meal and turns it into something else, a remembrance not just of salvation from slavery, but a remembrance of his death and eventually his resurrection. Tonight also celebrates Jesus doing something rather odd. He washes his disciples' feet. Now, this shouldn't be the job of the leader of a group, but Jesus uses this action to make a point he's made before, that following him is about serving others in humility. Which brings us to what I think is the central part of this evening: Jesus' command to love each other as Jesus loves us. That command is basically the summary of everything else he'd taught throughout his life. But when given on the eve of his death, it has a bit more meaning. Because how much does Jesus love us? Well, quite literally, to his death. That's a lot more than we might expect. It's one thing to love your neighbor as you love yourself. It's quite another to love to death. But that's what Jesus does. That's why Jesus shows up in the first place, to love humans that much. Love is really a main theme in most of the things that John writes, whether it's this gospel or the first, second, and third letters, or even the book of Revelation. God seeks to redeem the whole world for humanity out of love. Our habits of causing harm to ourselves and to others, our selfishness, and basically all the unloving things that we do, Jesus redeems on the cross so that we can fulfill that last command. Which always makes it so astounding that Christians are so very bad at loving one another. Jesus even says, "Everyone will know that you're my disciples when you love one another." But Christians now are known more by their hate than anything else. Even assuming the best of intentions, so much of what Christianity has done in the last millennia and a half has been received as hate, indifference, and condescension. And if that's how people feel about whatever we're doing, then it probably isn't love. So all the more as we enter these next few days around Jesus' death, we remember this command to love and the expression of love that we have on the cross. It's not an easy command. It's not a small command. But with the reputation that we Christians have today, I think it's an even more important command. We need to love as Jesus loves. So if you want to see more content like this, check out the links to my right, or click the logo just below my face to subscribe so you'll know when my next video comes out. Thank you for watching, and take the time this week to love your neighbor as yourself, especially if you don't like them all that much.